Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Punk Rock Review, home of a bunch of opinionated crap you don't care about, also the home of the feedback you provide that we don't care about, keeps us on an even playing field, and we like that. Real quick shout out to our sponsor. Fuck. We don't have one. Feel bad to give us money. Anyhow, moving straight into it today. Today we're going to be talking about a game that we talk about on occasion when we talking about it, obviously. And of course we were talking about the one and only MTG Arena. That's right. So MTG Arena, man, we have a love-hate relationship with this one, man, because there's a lot of aspects, man, that we genuinely hate that this game presents and brings to the table, all at the same time, while we have a hardcore love and passion, man, for what Magic the Gathering is, was, and, at one point could be, and possibly at one point could return to. Man, so it's one of those love-hate relationships and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we dig, and there's a lot of stuff that we don't dig. Anyhow, this is going to be one of those, kind of talks, man, and, kind of one of those, chats about the things that we aren't digging as far as how the game seemingly is still, man, and it's been a constant ongoing thing. We've talked about it before. Man, one of those kind of algorithmically manipulated kind of, things that is just shoved onto the players in order to, either give people their fair share of wins versus losses, or to, put certain cards, man, against other cards that, don't fare so well against it, because there's just other cards that completely dominate or obliterate entire decks or play styles, man, or cards in general, man. And of course, all of this is unfounded. Everything that we say is unfounded because we haven't dove into the code, man. We don't know for sure if, there's algorithms that manipulate all this shit that, holy fuck, is algorithmically manipulated and stuff. We have no proof, man, but with as much paper face-to-face Magic as we've played before, man, and just our knowledge and understanding of the game, man, and, we've top-8'd, some bigger tournaments and stuff. We've come in first place at, a variety of local game stores and stuff on occasion, in smaller, little plays and things like that. Never in any of the big tournaments. We're not good enough for that. But, man, we definitely have a good little kind of experience, man, in the game itself. We're not professionals, but, we hold our own well enough, man, when it comes down to it and stuff. Man, and, let's just talk about some of this shit that, we've come across in the more recent kind of plays and stuff. Alright, so, man, yeah, whatever. We can talk about, well, where do you rank, or where do you get up to in rank and stuff like that. It's like, if we feel like grinding, we can make Mythic. Never in the top 1 to 500 Mythic and stuff, but we make Mythic when we feel like it, and legitimately it's when we feel like it and stuff. Otherwise, we usually reside in the, Platinum for the most part, man, because, to get anywhere else or whatever, it's just a grind fest and such, and usually we'll play a lot of Brawl or whatever in addition to it and stuff, which, definitely in a seasonal ranking and stuff, prevents us from climbing the ladder and stuff like that. But, currently we're in like Diamond or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Man, so, so the most recent things that we've encountered with this one is we've been running a deck, man. It was a Golgari build and such that runs 4 Terra Sunders, right? So for those of you that don't know, and we're not going to put the, picture of Terra Sunder up because we don't feel like it and we're lazy. Give us enough money, maybe we'll start doing that shit. But Terra Sunder, man, it's a 2-drop, or you can pay 4. It's an instant speed, and it exiles a target artifact or enchantment for 2, or if you pay 4, man, on its casting cost, you can exile anything that you fucking want to, right? Man, we have this Golgari deck that we run that in and such, right? And so we're playing that, man, and for for running 4 Terra Sunders, man, we end up facing 3 graveyard decks, man, in a row, right? And it's like, okay, obviously, people are not playing stuff that, really, our deck is gonna interact with well, right? It was 3 games in a row, man, that we did that shit. So, it's like, alright, well, let's change to something else. The fucking minute that we stop running Terra Sunder, all of a sudden, man, back to back to back games of people running the One Ring. And it's like, holy fuck, you gotta be goddamn shitting us, man, with, the fact that, we run a card that completely gets rid of the One Ring, completely deals with any problem that a deck running the One Ring has and such, only to the minute that we switch off of it, all of a sudden, One Ring, One Ring, One Ring with no interaction, man, no way to get rid of it and stuff like that because it's a bullshit card, that was designed and implemented and put forward and stuff. There's a lot of ways that card could be fair and could be fine, man, for gameplay and shit like that or whatever. It could have all the aspects of it, man, but for it to be indestructible, that's a fucking problem because if you even think of Lord of the Rings, man, where it kind of originates from and such like that, man, that ring gets destroyed or at least, thrown into the fucking lava pits and shit, or Gollum fucking drags that shit down, whatever. It gets fucking rid of it, man. But the fact that card is indestructible in addition to the bullshit that's printed on it or whatever, is just absurd. That's another gripe all in its own or whatever. And you could say, like, yeah, man, that's just the luck of the draw. That's the luck of the matchups, man, that you get. But you can't tell me that, in playing, 4 copies of Terra Sunder for X amount of games, man, and not encountering any decks that run the One Ring at all, to the minute that you switch off and don't have a deck with a card like that in it and stuff, and you end up running, just basic artifact destruction and shit, all of a sudden, man, no more fucking graveyard decks, no more anything and such. It's almost like, hey, don't match this card up with this card because this one just kind of, shits all over it. Man, it's absurd. It's definitely, in our opinion, like we said, we can't verify any of this, something that is algorithmically manipulated, man, to force matchups of certain, decks, playstyles, cards, man, to only interact with certain decks, playstyles, cards. So like we said, very well may be super unfounded and everything in our bitching and griping and stuff, and maybe we just suck. Maybe it's the luck of the draw. Maybe it's the luck of the, opponents and the matchups and stuff like that you get, man. But from where we sit and from where we play, man, that's horse shit. And there's definitely some kind of backhanded, program that's running an algorithm and such, which would be Arena, running an algorithm, man, that changes the matchups or forces matchups and prevents certain things from interacting with certain things. So, like we said, unfounded. Maybe it's us just bitching about how shitty we are as a player, man, but for folks that are able to climb the ranks, man, and have climbed the ranks, man, it's just too often, and this is just one example, man, this is, one of our recent kind of, plays and such or whatever, and, it doesn't, seem to be a legitimate matchmaking system that's going on. It seems like something more kind of, underhanded is happening to manipulate these matchups and everything, man, depending on what you're playing, when you're playing it. Because, the minute that you start running Terra Sunder again or whatever, or that we do, or, I don't know, Fragment or Reality or whatever the fuck, the arena-based, only removal card is and stuff like that, there's just something about the matchups, man, that are presented to the player that don't seem like they're legitimate matchups. And, it very well could be that, yes, it just happens that, the interactions and stuff were what they are. And it's just who we got paired up with and stuff. And, that's just how it is. Man, but something don't seem right about it. Something seemed off about it for years at this point now, man. And every time that, stuff like this happens, it just, like, kind of, adds fuel to our fire of saying that, potentially there is something going on, man, that, don't seem right. But we've talked about it enough. Who cares? No one cares about any of this shit except you. Hi, Mom. There you go. MTG Arena, algorithm manipulations that are unfounded and possibly don't exist that we think might be founded and do exist, but might not. What can be said about you? Gets a good old-fashioned question mark, because you can question all of it, man, but, there's no way of knowing unless you know. That's it. Give us money. Have a good one. You probably didn't. We'll catch you next time. Probably won't.